Hey, it's the Midnight Raven, and we are nonchalantly sitting on my couch, and we're going to do another IDRlabs.com personality test. So, recently we've been doing like serious tests. We've done like personality, we've done purity tests. So, I thought today we'd do one of the more fun tests that they have, and this is called the food choice test. Now, don't tell me we all don't like food. Now, some of us have a more refined taste when it comes to food, things like lobster, shrimp, maybe caviar. And then us poorer folk who can only afford certain foods seem to gravitate to more like chicken nuggets, chips, microwave meals. So today, this test has been devised to identify a person's social class based on how they feel about certain foods. So, what do your food choices say about you as your social class? So, we're basically going to find out today whether I'm a snob or not when it comes to food. Are you a food snob? Let me know down below. So, you can go to IDR Labs and take this little quiz. It's got 35 questions, and you basically agree or disagree, and it's going to tell you whether you are a food snob. So, let's get into the video. So, question 1. How would you like to eat a baked potato? Oh my God. I spent my entire student life on pot noodles and jacket potatoes because they were so quick in a microwave. 5 minutes in a microwave, shove some fillings on the top and boom. Or stick it in the oven if you had time for an hour to get it all crispy. How would you like to eat caviar? Absolutely not. And that's not because it's fish eggs. It's just, I mean, look at it. Does it look appetizing? I find that posh food, or if they call it the more refined palate food, is never appetizing to the eye. How do you feel about fettuccine alfredo? So this is basically just tagliatelle pasta with a fancy sauce with some bacon thrown in. And I actually like tagliatelle pasta. It may have a posh name, but it is basically pasta with a sauce with some like bacon thrown in. Absolutely. I love pasta Alfredo. How do you feel about a foie gras burger? So foie gras, I don't really know what it is. I know it's what posh people have, foie gras, prawn cocktails, caviar. It has that name, the foie gras, just how you say it sounds posh. You don't even have to know what it is when you say to someone, oh, you fancy some caviar or some foie gras. You put an emphasis on the word. Now, does that make it posh just because you don't see you fancy some egg and chips and you're like, do you fancy some foie gras? You kind of emphasize your words to make it sound posh because it is a posh food. I mean, how many people just go to a local restaurant and go, do you want a cheeseburger, a hamburger, or some foie gras? Like, nah, it's not for me. How would you like some steak tartare? Now, steak tartare is served raw. I do know what steak tartare. Steak tartare is usually served raw, and it usually contains onions, served with a side of peas, and topped with a raw egg, I believe. I'm not really into steak in any form, not even posh steak, as an actual slab of dead cow on your plate. But this raw with onions and an egg, it doesn't even look appetizing. The only thing that's appetizing are these sesame seed crackers on the side. Now, beef stew. Oh my God. My nan used to make the best beef stew. I don't know what she did to the stock, but it was rich. It was so good. Now, if you've never had beef stew is basically beef, potatoes, peas, carrots, maybe parsnips, simmered, brought to the boil. Beef stew is just, if you have a cold, a flu, you just feel off. A beef stew used to be always made by my nan, and it'd make you feel good. Tuna tartare tacos. Now, I'm not a fan of tacos. I don't really eat fish. And tartar. The three things I don't like. Tacos, for a start. I'm not into like wraps and stuff like that. And I don't like fish. The only fish I've ever had is like fish fingers when I was little. No, so it's not for me. Hot dogs. Oh my geez. Now, I don't like what they call traditional hot dogs. I like a normal sausage in a bun. I don't like the whole American hot dogs. I think they taste a little weird. So we're going to have to put slightly agree because I'm not fully into this sausage, but I do like it if it's a normal hot dog. A sloppy Joe, a ground beef sandwich. Now, I've never had a sloppy Joe, but I do know it's ground beef with like a piece of cheese in a bun, and it's messy. I've never really eaten ground beef. I've had corned beef, if that's similar. So I'd have to. Would you eat this? Would you like to eat? I'd have to disagree. How much would you like to eat it? I'd have to disagree. I don't think I'd want to eat it. How much would you like to eat? Ugh. No. How much would you like to eat fish sticks? Now, I'm going to guess this is fish fingers. Now, I've had fish fingers before. My dad used to swear by fish finger sandwiches. They were filling. They were cheap. It gave you good protein and whatever else. So I would say a little. Chicken noodle soup. Now, I don't like chicken. I find it dry. I find it bland. I find it just an uninspiring. It's not really a meat, is it? It's a poultry or a protein. And I'm not a fan of like noodles. And I'm not a fan of like soup unless it's tomato. So I would... I wouldn't want to eat that. Roasted chicken with green beans. Again, I don't like chicken. And I don't like green beans. Pulled pork burger. Now, the only pork I really eat are in like sausage rolls, like pork sausage rolls. I'm not a fan of like pork in general. Again, I find it kind of tough, kind of bland. I'm not a big meat eater unless it comes to like beef. And even then it's only in specific consistencies. Potato chips, or if you're in England, they're called crisps. Or in America, it's potato chips. Now, I love crisps. I have a penchant for different crisps. Recently, I bought a fancy bag of crisps. Let me show you my fancy crisps that I bought recently. Now, these are the fancy crisps I bought. You don't have the top. But I bought these from Co-op. And these were buffalo, mozzarella, cheese, tomato, and basil crisps. These were like £2 a bag from Co-op. But they were so good. I've never had buffalo mozzarella before or anything. But, oh, my God, I cannot wait to buy another bag. So, yes, potato chips, 100%. Grits with lobster tail. No, grits is apparently, I believe it's mashed potato. Is that what grits are? A mashed potato, it looks like. I'm not a fan of lobster or fish, so that would be a no from me. Southern Cobb salad. Now, I'm not into leafies. Tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuce, cabbage, onions. I just don't like any of it. And it's not because I was brought up poor. It's because I was brought up not liking them. I just do not have a taste for rabbit food. I'm more of an Italian girl. Caesar salad. Again, I'm not into like lettuces, tomatoes, and all of that. So that wouldn't do me. Defrosted pizza. Oh, see, the days of me buying frosted pizza are kind of gone because we have a Domino's now, which, oh, God, I could kill for a Domino's right now. I have had defrosted pizza. I do prefer like a Domino's now, or a kebab where it's picked up hot. So fish and chips. Now, I have a penchant for chips. Chips, chips, chips. Triple cooked chips especially. Skin on chips, absolutely. Fish, take it or leave it. Like I said, the most fish I kind of eat are fish fingers. So we'll have to go like in the middle there. Sashimi. Now, sashimi is raw fish. I don't really eat anything Japanese, Chinese, Thai. I'm not a fan of noodles or rice or anything like that, unfortunately. Petit fours. Now, petit fours are basically mini foods like canapes. They're basically mini foods that are just a taster of something bigger. And honestly, if you're going to eat something, at least make it worth eating. Meatloaf. Now, I've never had meatloaf, so I couldn't really comment on meatloaf. I've never had it. It looks kind of appetizing, so we're going to put that in the middle because I've never had it. Truffle mac and cheese. Now, I love mac and cheese. You ask anybody, I'll eat bowlful after bowlful mac and cheese, especially when I'm feeling a little bit low. A bowl of mac and cheese just perks me up. Truffle mac and cheese, no. I don't see the need for truffles, and truffles are actually found by pigs, just in case you're wondering. They use pigs to find truffles. I never knew that. Chicken sandwich. Again, we are not loving the chicken, unfortunately. It's just not for me. Sachet torte. Now, sachet torte is chocolate cake, I believe. It is a dessert. It is a very chocolatey-esque dessert. I mean, I'm not a big thing for like chocolate desserts. I'm more like a jam roly-poly girl. Like oysters. I do not have any interest in having something incredibly salty slide down my throat. However you want to take that. So that's a no. Mac and cheese. Oh my God. Mac and cheese is to die for. Not out of a tin. I can eat it out of a packet. I can eat it homemade. No tin mac and cheese. I don't know whoever invented mac and cheese in a tin should just be shot. It's just vile. But in a packet, it can be a little bit stodgy heating up from a microwave meal. But I do love mac and cheese when I go out as like a side to something. Toasted ham and cheese. So this is basically what they call a cheese grill, or if you want to call it a grill in America. Toasted ham and cheese. Now, I don't mind a toasty. I'm just not really good on the ham. And then it kind of takes it away. So we'll put that in the middle. Soft serves with 24 edible gold. Do you need edible gold on your ice cream? I mean, come on, people. Like, no. Honestly, how would you like to eat mussels? I wouldn't. Anything that comes out of the sea is salty, is still living in its own shell. I just, no, it's not for me. Lobster mac and cheese. Again, hearts with the mac and cheese, but doesn't need lobster in it. Chicken nuggies. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with chicken nuggies. My son, as he was growing up as a child, was obsessed with nuggets. Everything had nuggets. We went to McDonald's. It was nuggets. We went to a restaurant. He wanted to know if they had nuggets. He was, I want to say, a fussy eater, kind of like me. I've had chicken nuggets. I don't really like them. I'm not a fan of the meat, the consistency. So we're going to put them in the middle. Chili con carne. Now, my ex would swear by chili con carne. If you have a cold, a flu, and you're feeling unwell, the way to perk it up or burn it out of you is either a curry or a chili con carne. Me, on the other hand, total opposite. Not into it. I know it's kidney beans and other stuff, but it's just not for me. Fried oysters. I don't care if they are oysters, fried oysters, baked oysters. We are not loving the oysters. And pork. Now, pork, I've had pork. I'm not a big fan of it. I will eat it in like certain scenarios. I do find it as a more juicy meat compared to things like chicken or turkey or something. So we will go for like a half. So am I a snob? Am I a food snob? So we are looking at the 4 classes of snobbery. We are looking at the lower class. We are looking at so we've got lower class, lower middle class, upper middle class, and poshos. So as you can see, I have a little of upper middle, which is probably where the mac and cheese comes in. We have the middle class, which is probably things like the fish and chips. The lower middle class, probably the beef stew maybe, and lower class, which is what I am. I do not need fancy food. I don't need lobster tail, prawns, foie gras, caviar. I most prefer tomato soup, a baked potato, some pasta, a casserole. I'm easygoing when it comes to food. I don't need to go out and throw my money around on a meal that's just going to come out the other end in 24 hours. If you want to go out, have a lobster, have some fancy stuff, maybe have it for an anniversary, a birthday, or a party, go ahead. Eating it consistently, I don't see the need to. I would more rather go out and have a romantic dinner and have a special meal with some more fancy food and then just go back to eating mundane jacket potatoes and tomato soup and beef stews. But let me know down below, are you a food snob? Are you a connoisseur when it comes to posho food, or are you just like me and you could just deal with the bog standard peasant food? Let me know. Give it a big thumbs up. Support the channel with a PayPal, Super Chat, Super Thanks. Become a member. Support the channel. Keep me in business. Let me know down below. You want to take this test? It's on the idrlabs.com website. I will link it down below. And I will see you very soon. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye, guys.